Well, what are you gonna do? I don't know. I need some time to think. You heard what he offered me, though, right? Besides, nobody knows what will happen from now. Maybe I've got a chance. Think you're gonna be alright by yourself? Mr. Hyde? Yeah, I'll be just fine. I'm a lot stronger than I look, you know. One more thing. Thanks for listening to me. Honestly thought I'd never be able to open up to anyone. That is, until you came along. Goodbye, Mr. Hyde. Mary gets into the elevator and leaves the roof. Mary. It's my pager. Better head back to my room. Let's go. Off to the room to go talk to Rachel. It's probably who's calling me. I doubt Ed would be like, hey, I got something for you. It's probably just Rachel. Good. I like Rachel. She's great. Fuck. Wrong button. Take me to floor 2. Let's go. Alright. Who wants to talk? It's that fucker. In front of my door. It's fucking open. Dylan. Why the fuck is my door open, asshole? Hey. Oh, Mr. Hyde. What do you want? Nothing much. Well, it must be something or you wouldn't be hanging around outside my room. Steady on, I'm not up to anything. I'm just taking care of some maintenance. Thought it'd be a good time to check the second floor doors. I see. Anyway, Mr. Hyde, what was that all about just now with the Rex? I saw, you know, he's a shifty character. Saw him head up to the roof in the elevator. Yeah, what else did you see? What did he want up there? You know, stuff. But, do you know what he did before he headed up to the roof? I do. He took a trip to room 206, Mary's place, that's what. Don't you think it's a little strange, in my opinion, they're into something together? Got better things to do than listen to your crap, Dylan. I couldn't care less what Rex wanted up there on the roof. You sure about that? Pretty sure you're actually quite interested. Yeah, and when did you become a psychologist? I'm sure because you were up there too, until just now. How could I possibly believe you're not interested after seeing that? Look, Dylan, I just want to know what happened up there. Rex won't be coming around here anymore. That's what he said right before he left. Really? You're right about me being up there too. He and I were putting the record straight. That's when he told me that he won't be showing his face around here again. Does that mean he got what he came for? Guess it does. Wasn't he looking into the insurance policy Mary's late husband set up? That's right, isn't it? Did he prove that she was trying to get away with fraud? No, he didn't. And you know why? Because she wasn't involved in any fraud to begin with. Okay then. She'll get the money, just like she deserves. I see. Dylan finishes talking and launches off. Yo, Dylan can fuck off. Maybe my door wasn't open, maybe it just looked like it because of pixels and shit. And like it being on a DS. I don't know. Time to give Rachel a call. Red Crown, how may I help you? It's me, what's up? Ed wants to speak to you. Can't wait. I'll hand you over. Hi, it's me. I got some news courtesy of an old friend of mine at LAPD. About the possibility of Condor having made a return to the scene. Sources within the LAPD seem to think that this is a warning in response to mayoral candidate Hugh Speck's planned campaign against organized crime. Warning? Yes, blatant warning made by Nile. It's their way of saying that if the police choose to strike against them, they've got their own counter-strike ready to be deployed. Hang on, why would Nile use the resurrection of Condor as a retaliation against the LAPD? Doesn't add up. An old friend of mine on the force once let it slip that With regards to Nile, there's something the LAPD aren't letting on, and it concerns Condor, whatever it is. Certainly don't want it made public. Ed, do you think there's any way you can get more information on that? More? I suppose if there's any more to be had, it might be possible. I've been unearthing some facts of my own too. You have you? Listen, Ed. There was a guy 13 years ago who thought he'd discover a link between Nile and Condor. Wound up dead, but a friend of his told me my dad may have been somehow involved. Okay, I'll see what I can do. Perhaps if I extend the net to include what Frank Raver was doing, we might get lucky. Be helpful. Condor, Nile, and now the LAPD. 25 years ago, the Scarlet Star disappeared at the same time my dad died. The hell's connecting all these things? Well, it's 3 o'clock now. And there's someone at my door. Because of course there is. I'm a very popular person. Ah, it's you. I have something I'd like to ask you, Mr. Hyde. Yeah, what is it? I heard something from Dylan. Told me that you or Rex and Mary from room 206 had a little gathering on the roof. Not long ago either, was he right? What if we did? I don't see that it's got anything to do with you. Thought I made it clear when we last spoke. You're supposed to keep your nose out of these things. I thought we'd reach an agreement that you would no longer interfere. I distinctly remember telling you to avoid contact with the people in that picture. Right, you did say something like that, but I don't remember us coming to any kind of agreement over what I do. You don't, do you? Don't let your desire for truth come between me and my investigation, Mr. Hyde. Look, I'm not out to get in your way, alright? It's not like I woke up and decided better chat with Rex and Mary on the roof. Then what was your reason for talking to them? Sorry to be the one to break this to you, Frank, but we've got a similar agenda. We both need to find something out before leaving this dump. I beg your pardon? I just happened to have a few questions I needed to ask them, so I went ahead and did it. Simple as that. You had questions for them? Would you care to tell me what you asked and why? Listen, Frank, you really want to know what we talked about up there? Naturally. That's why I'm asking. Well, as it happens, I have some questions for you first. You and Dylan seem very keen to find out what we talked about up there. Why is that? That's because... Also, I'd like to know what you've been... I'd like you to know what I've been looking into... Okay, I'd like you to know that I've been looking into you two, Frank. Got it that time. You have. Not only you, either. I've done some research on Kathy McGrath's murder that happened here 13 years ago. And last but not least, I've been looking into the elusive Condor. So that's how it is. What, may I ask, have you found out? Pretty much everything you know. Seriously doubt that, Mr. Hyde. There's no way you've been able to obtain the same level of information as me. I think it's about time you stopped exaggerating. I'm aware of the fact that you were a detective and you made your way here from Manhattan, but I was on the LAPD when the incident occurred, and I've been investigating ever since. No way on earth you could be more informed than I am, Mr. Hyde. That's right. You keep telling yourself that, old man. Actually, I know quite a lot about the incident, about your past the boot. Let's just see what you think you know, shall we? Tell me what you know about me. I know your name came up in internal investigation. When you were in your 40s, you were singled out in an internal investigation. What? Back in the day, you were considered quite a detective, one of the best, in fact. But with one problem, you were willing to go to any length to guarantee an arrest. Because of this, you were taken out of the position you love so much. Seems you've done your research, Mr. Hyde, but I have to ask, how did you come across such detailed information? You don't need to worry about how I came across it, just know I did. Probably a good idea not to ask any more stupid questions, too. I'll ask whatever I please. So I take it you also know about the link between Condor and a certain organization? I know Niles behind Condor. Last guy who tried to expose this connection wound up in the morgue. You've certainly done your homework. How'd you make so much progress in your investigation, may I ask? Didn't I already tell you? We share a similar agenda. We both want to find something out before we leaving here. You're set on finding out what happened in the incident 13 years ago, and I'm looking into another incident that happened here a long time ago. Really? Which incident might that be? What happened 25 years ago? What? Frank. Do you know what happened 25 years ago? Of course I do. Mr. Hyde, tell me, what are you trying to discover about the incident 25 years ago? I'm trying to find something. To be precise, I want to find the Scarlet Star that went missing from Hotel Cape West. Did you say Scarlet Star? How the hell did you learn about the Scarlet Star, Mr. Hyde? Frank, you know about the Scarlet Star? Of course I do. If I'm not mistaken, it was kept secured in the safe at Hotel Cape West. It's well protected there. But by means beyond what I know, it simply disappeared. Only the hotel manager, Michael McGrath, was likely to know what happened to it. Michael McGrath. Now, Mr. Hyde, please tell me how you came to know about the Scarlet Star. I heard it firsthand from Michael McGrath's son. Michael McGrath's son? He was told about it by his father, Michael, prior to his death. He was the one who sent me that sent me after it in the first place. Michael McGrath is dead, am I right? Yeah, he died of an illness 3 years ago. Before he died, he told his son who was responsible for the death of his wife, Kat, who was responsible. I see. It would appear that we have a lot to discuss, Mr. Hyde. You're probably right. Sorry, Mr. Hyde, but I'm gonna have to stop there for now. Let's meet again later and continue this conversation. Sure, probably for the best. Where shall we meet? Shall we say Lucky's Cafe at 5? That'll work. I'll be there. Till then, Mr. Hyde. Okay. Huh, it's my phone. Let's phone it up. Who's calling? Hello? From the other end of the line, I can hear a shaky voice. Who's that? It's me, Mr. Hyde. Mary, what do you want? I'm scared, Mr. Hyde. Why? What happened? Somebody outside my room. They've been there for a while now. Somebody's outside your room? I think they're keeping tabs on me. I'm so scared. Sit tight. Whatever you do, do not leave your room. I'll be over right away. Okay, hurry. Well, shit's going down. Gotta go... Who the hell could it be? Just gotta go look down the hall and see who the fuck is there. Watch me, that bastard Dylan. It is! That's... that motherfucker. Dylan. The fuck you doing, you creep? Hey. Hi, Mr. Hyde. What are you doing here? Nothing much? More maintenance, huh? Yes, that's right. Don't lie to me. What? Tell me what you're really doing around here. What I'm really doing? I don't understand. Don't be done with me. You were desperate to find out what happened on the roof. Then you went out of your way to speak to Frank, and now you're loitering in front of Mary's room. What are you after? What are you trying to imply, Mr. Hyde? Jumping to conclusions. Dylan looks annoyed as he moves away and heads up to the 3rd floor. I don't trust him one bit. Yo! Fucker's gone. Who's there? Hear Mary's voice from the inside her room. It's me, Kyle. Mr. Hyde? Open the door. We need to talk. Just a moment. Your mystery stalker's been unmasked. It was Dylan. Dylan? Yeah, caught him hanging around here just now. Why would he be hanging around here? He'd been curious about the chat me, you, and Rex had on the roof. Tried to get me to spill the beans earlier. Why would he care what we were talked about? Turns out that he knew you, even before coming here. He did? How? Apparently he was called to your old place to do some repair work on the pipes. Funny, can't remember him. Besides, we always used the same company to take care of any pipe trouble. I'm certain, absolutely positive that he has never been to my old house. Interesting. Knew he was up to something, but this really is suspicious. Mary, I need you to show me something. Remember the letter you received? I need to see it. Of course. Here. Take the threatening letter? So I guess Rex wasn't the sender of this letter after all. That can only mean... Mr. Hyde, are you about to suggest that the person who sent me this was... Yeah, I think I am. Do you mind if I keep hold of this for now? Not really, but what do you plan to do with it? Never you mind. Don't worry, though. Won't cause you any trouble. Mary, I'll be back. Don't let anyone into your room until I say so. I suppose I'll have to trust you then. Is Dylan the one threatening her? Is that what he's implying? Threatening letter. Instructions for a role in the early stages of a jewel heist. Yo, fuckhead! The fuck are you doing? Piece of shit! What the fuck room are you in? 304? Mr. Hyde. I'm sorry, but I'm kind of busy right now. Won't take long, Dylan. Got something to show you. What is it? Not here. Inside. Inside? Trust me, if anyone saw me showing you this, your life wouldn't be worth living. I suppose you'd better come in then. The dude does have a fascination with jewels, huh? Huh. Place is a bit more of a mess. He's packing something away. Alright, fucker. Looks like you're busy getting ready for the big move, huh? Yeah. Packing your stuff up, were you? Guess that would explain why you're flustered. Were you planning on heading out somewhere later? Yeah, you know, just going out. I see. That's why I can't really give you much of my time at the moment. What was it you wanted to show me? This. Does it look familiar? In case you haven't noticed, it's a threatening letter that was sent to Mary. Oh, is that what it is? There's no more hiding, Dylan. I know exactly who you are. I don't know what you mean. Don't give me that bull. Tell me who you are. Please, Mr. Hyde, don't shout at me like that. And start talking. We can start with what you were really doing outside Mary's room. Right. Dylan, I know what you were doing. You were keeping tabs on Mary. What? I was just doing what I was told to do. Yeah, and who the fuck told you that, huh? You knew Mary before you came here. Or so you claim. That's right, I did. I used to do the plumbing in our old house. Bullshit. Something that doesn't add up, Dylan. Jessie doesn't... You've never been to her old house. What? She told me that whenever they had problems, they used the same service. So now we've established that you've never been you haven't been there. So how could you really know her? And that's because I was given some information about her. Alright, fucker. Dylan, who told you to watch Mary? I can't tell you that. Not that it matters. I already know the answer. Yeah? What do you think you know? I know who told you to watch her. It was Niall. Niall? That's it, isn't it, Dylan? I don't believe it. How the hell did you manage to find out so much? You wrote that threatening letter to Mary under the orders of Niall, which means you were likely placed here to watch over the tenants and send the letters. What can I say? My job was to stay here and watch over those women. What kind of information did you receive? That would be... It's information you had to relay to her, wasn't it? That's right. But do you know what kind of information it was? Sure, it was about... her and her husband not getting along, working for Condor. Right again. Mary was a relative of ex-Condor operatives. She didn't know this, even after both of them had died. Condor may have disappeared 13 years ago, but it left behind some women who would come in handy for Niall. Condor proved to be a useful subject to Niall in more ways than one. The woman you were supposed to watch, which women would they be? You only need to ask. I thought you'd have figured it out by now. Tell me. Well, it's Mary and that Patrice woman, of course. Patrice especially. I'm sure she's still hiding something in her room. Max is hiding something in her room. Yeah, there's no mistaking it if you watched her like I have. How did Niall hope to... fucking what? Use Condor. I thought that would have been obvious. I used them to liaise with the LAPD. Liaise with the LAPD? Sure, as you no doubt already know, not a single member of Condor was taken down. Why do you think that was? It's because of the corrupt element in the department working on the Condor cases. Well, Mr. Hyde, looks like you finally managed to expose my true identity. Looks that way. When did you realize? I knew there was something fishy about you as soon as we started having a little chats. You figured me out in a single week, huh? Looking back, maybe I shouldn't have spoken to you so much. By taking that approach, I might have been able to get to the end of my stay here without arousing any suspicion, and just continue to be maintenance man Dylan. Still, guess there's no use crying over spilt milk. Come to think of it, maybe the timing was pretty good. Hold it right there. What do you mean the timing was pretty good? What are you planning now? I've just got one thing left to do. Let them know that Kyle Hyde is on to them and is likely to be an obstacle. What'd you say? What's the matter? Scared of big bad Niall? You must have guessed that once you exposed me, you'd put yourself into the line of fire. Don't tell me you never considered it. Sure I did. But you think that's gonna put me off? I won't be intimidated by scum like you. Well, I admire your nerve. With guts like that, you're wasted being a salesman. Yeah, hear a lot of that. I've got nerve, alright. Enough of it to shoot an ex-partner of mine who worked for Niall. May have quit the force, but there are certain things you can't shake off. Dylan. I don't get many opportunities to chat to criminal lowlifes like you anymore. Hey, don't push it. So I'd like to use this chance to ask you something. You're gonna tell them that I've blown your cover. But what's that gonna happen to you? What are you trying to say? You really think they're gonna keep a guy around who can't even remain in disguise? Mark my words. Based on the Nile I know, this isn't gonna end well. At least, not for you. You'll be the first to disappear. What do you mean by that? Pretty sure that once you've given them what they want, they'll figure out there's no sense in keeping somebody whose cover's been exposed. And then what do you think will happen to you? You can't exactly hand yourself over to the LAPD, can you? Not after what you told me just now. Now really does have a mole in the force. And you hand yourself in, you'd be digging your own grave. Are you threatening me? Not at all. Just letting you know the facts. Then, when they've disposed of you, it won't be long before they take me out too. It's not gonna be like that. I'm sure of it. Come on, Dylan, wise up. What are you going to do? I haven't a clue. What can I do? You got yourself into a real fix. Come on, answer me. Maybe we can strike up some kind of deal. Here's what I'm thinking. Since my life's also in danger, perhaps if we agree to keep recent events to ourselves, we can both make a clean break. By the time Niall realizes the lack of contact means you've gone, they'll come looking, but you would have gained yourself a couple of days' head start. A couple of days? That's not going to stop them. Where the hell can I run to? Not to mention, how can I be sure you'll keep quiet about me? If you're stuck for somewhere to run, call me tomorrow night. I know a way you can escape undetected. Whether you choose to believe me or not, it's totally your call, though. Dylan. Huh? Dylan's right arm moves. Don't move. What you said sounds good, but I'm not so sure I'm the kind of guy who believes everything at face value. It's decision time, Dylan. What's it gonna be? I'm gonna have to think about all this. That stuff you said, that's something I can't decide upon lightly. After all, both our lives are in danger here. You got that right. So I figure we've lived here under the same roof for a while now. I think we can reach some sort of agreement. Here's what I'll do. I'll wait until tomorrow night to give you my answer. Before then, neither I nor Niall will make any sort of move. I think we could both do with some rest tonight. Now just stand still and don't make a move until I'm out of here. You got that? Catch you later, Mr. Hyde. Dylan gives me a sarcastic little smile as he leaves the room. Well, your shit seems to be, all fucked up. Some books that must have fallen off the shelf or scattered around on the floor. Can I not look at that? Insect specimens are just lying on the floor. Part Dylan's crystal. Dylan's crystal collection. This one is blue and has a million tiny scratches. They diffuse the light. Crystal collection. Translucent bluish crystal. Do I just, like, leave? I mean, his shit's open. Closet is open and there are clothes in a heap. I'm gonna leave and hope I don't get shot. Better let Mary know about Dylan. Right. Let's head downstairs then. Man, fuck Dylan. Piece of shit. 206. Who's there? Hear Mary's voice from inside her room. It's me, Kyle. Ah, Mr. Hyde. Open the door. Okay, just a moment. Dylan was behind the threatening letter you received. What? He was also the person keeping tabs on your whereabouts. So he is with Niall after all. Yeah, he is. Good news is that after I exposed him, he left. Really? He's gone? Yeah. Let's just say I gave the guy a little scare that sent him packing. Should be enough to keep him away until you're safely out of town anyway. Mr. Hyde. Here's your letter back. Mr. Hyde. I've made up my mind. I'm gonna take the chance and leave. I see. Please don't worry about me. After all, I already told you I'm stronger than I look. Mary. You've helped me so much. After talking to you, I think I'm ready to make a run for it, no matter what lies ahead. Thank you for everything. As soon as I leave here, lock the door and don't let anyone in. You got that? And when you leave tomorrow, don't tell a soul what you're doing. Four o'clock. Better make my way to see Mags. Man, I've had quite the guns being pointed at me. This game is way more hostile towards Hyde than Hotel Dusk. And well, yeah, way more hostile. Just straight up murder threats. Oh, going the wrong fucking way. Who is it? It's Kyle Hyde. Mr. Hyde? It's at 4 o'clock, right? Care to open the door? Got something really important that we need to talk about. Sorry, Mr. Hyde. I'm a little busy at the moment. Can we continue the chat from this morning another time? You fucking serious? Now isn't a very good time. Please come back later. Now what? Maybe I should just head back upstairs and try again later. Bullshit. Who is it? Come on. Let me the fuck in. God damn it. It's bullshit. Mr. Hyde. Great. Now Frank wants me. I've been looking for you. I thought we were meeting later. What do you want? You were in Dylan's room earlier, am I right? Yeah. You looked quite agitated when he left. May I ask what happened in there? He's gone. He cut his losses and left. He left? As it turns out, he's on Niall's payroll. Once I managed to get that out of him, he fled. It's all slotting into place. Looks like it's true about him being the person Niall sent here then. Seems my instincts haven't let me down after all. So you knew. Did you suspect Dylan? In a manner of speaking. Did you manage to uncover something about Dylan then? Not directly, but I noticed how defensive he was. So what put you onto him? There was something strange about him, something he just couldn't hide. Kind of like a smell that can only be picked up by seasoned detectives like me. Because he set off your detective instincts. Yes, you could say that. Noticed that his movements seemed deliberate, and they were done to match hers. Hers? Yes, Mrs. Patrice, of course. And when you understand what kind of woman she is, as I do, you would appreciate that Dylan's movements are rather suspicious. That was the motivation behind me wanting to investigate where he was frequenting. What kind of woman you saying? What kind of woman do you think Mrs. Patrice is? Of course, I had my own information about her, but after hearing yours, I deduced that Mrs. Patrice is quite clearly the wife of a villain. Her late husband, George Patrice, was a close friend of Michael McGrath, the one-time owner of Hotel Cape West. He also just happened to be the prime suspect of the murder of Kathy McGrath. You told me that you were able to have a conversation with Michael's son. I would think that he would have told you then that he had marked a certain individual as Kathy's murderer, and that individual was George Patrice. Precisely. This was the same conclusion that the first detective on the case came to. So George Patrice was the number one suspect, huh? What the detective in charge of the original case thought, at least. At that time of the victim's death, he was absent from the party and without an alibi. Conveniently for him, though, his wife, Margaret, provided him with an alibi later on. Do you believe he was responsible for the murder? I must admit, I do. I see. Not only that, I also firmly believe that he knew the whereabouts of the missing Scarlet Star. What? And if Niall have been using Dylan to watch Mrs. Patrice, then there's no doubt. Let me get this straight. Earlier you said that there was only one person who knew where the Scarlet Star was. And that person was the hotel manager, Michael McGrath. Why then would you say that George Patrice knew? I meant that McGrath was the only person working on the hotel who knew. But when we're talking about George Patrice, Condor's ringleader, well, I find it hard to believe he didn't know all there was to know. There's something more I have to say about the Scarlet Star, though. Where was Dylan frequenting? 4th floor in the basement, vacant rooms too. He also tended to enter other tenants' rooms, insisting he was merely doing maintenance. Can't tell how many times I spotted him leaving room 306, for example. Goes without saying that he would enter Mrs. Patrice's room as well. What do you think he was up to? Monitoring and information gathering, all to find the clues to locate the Scarlet Star. He's looking for it, so Dylan knew about it too. Let some underling know about the Scarlet Star. What else do you know? I'd intended to talk about that in the cafe. Come on, you've mentioned this much. I think you need to tell me everything. You're very persuasive, Mr. Hyde. This is how I see it. Michael McGrath was in possession of the Scarlet Star. But when his wife was killed off, he naturally became frightened and hid it where nobody else would be able to find it. You mean like in a building that used to be a hotel? Indeed. And I'm positive that he left some sort of means to locate it again later on. He must have figured that, at some point, somebody would try to obtain the Scarlet Star. He thought that someone would come looking for it? Yes, the same people that knew the truth behind its disappearance. Who are those people? Condor ringleader George Patrice and his wife Margaret. Mike Porter and Peter Rivet, too, naturally. Niall would have been aware, as well. Mike and Peter were part of Mary's family. The only ones to survive up until the present day are Mrs. Patrice and Niall. Out of all the people who knew the truth behind how the Scarlet Star disappeared, only Mrs. Patrice and Niall are left. Hold on. Frank, there's one more person who knew about the disappearance of the Scarlet Star. There is you. You know exactly how it came to be missing, don't you? If you won't come clean now, this conversation is over. Fine, have it your way. The reason I've been looking into the events of this building's past is to restore a certain reputation. Go on. Whose reputation needs restoring? Mine, of course. Yours? 25 years ago, I was a part of the investigation into Condor, Mr. Hyde. During this investigation, I learned something about Hotel Cape West. I found out that this was where Condor conducted their fencing on stolen jewelry. Soon after that, an internal investigation took place, and I was removed from the case. I believe I was the victim of a conspiracy perpetrated by a certain person. What kind of conspiracy? The plot to remove the person who poised to unveil the truth about Condor. Not only did he ruin my good name, but he also deepened his allegiance with Nile. This person, the one who orchestrated the conspiracy. Talking about Hugh Speck. Mayor candidate Hugh Speck. I am. He rants incessantly about crushing of crime, which got him into the world of politics. But the truth is, it's all a front. He doesn't mean a word of it. I'll tell you now, my ultimate aim is to bring him and his corruption down. If I can do that, I have no doubt my reputation will be restored. Mr. Hyde, listen to me. I must sound like some doddering old fool. I was once just a plain and simple detective who wanted for nothing. When I was younger, I was bad-tempered and eager to prove myself. Even though I didn't conform with the norm, I did my job and fought for justice. Then that man and his damned internal investigation stripped me of everything. All of a sudden, I was the cog in the machine, working behind a desk. But there was one thing they couldn't take away from me, and that was my pride. I quit my job and vowed to uncover the truth behind what happened. Let me get this straight. The reason for searching for dirt on Hugh Speck is to try and expose the link between Nile and the LAPD? Exactly. I'm positive, Mr. Hyde, that the Scarlet Star lays hidden somewhere in this building. If I can only find it, I know it will prove to be an invaluable piece of evidence. Michael McGrath definitely left some sort of clue behind before he died. Something that will enable me to finish what I've been trying to do all these years. So you've been trying to find some sort of clue up on the 4th floor. Yes, but all my efforts appear to have been in vain. I've not found a thing. There's always a chance that somebody got it before me and moved it though. Moved it? Reminds me, didn't Dylan say something? It's Mary and Patrice, and that Patrice woman, of course. Patrice especially. I'm sure she's still hiding something in her room. Yeah, no mistaking it, if you've watched her like I have. Mr. Hyde. Yeah. What are you thinking about? Would I be wrong if I suspected you of knowing something? Perhaps something about the place Michael McGrath hid that clue? Dream on. If I knew something about that, you think I'd still be gassing to you? Forgive me. It's just that the look you had on your face made me think so. You must tell me if you know something. Steady on, Granddad. That tone will get you nowhere. I told you, I don't know anything. You're lying, I know it. Look, when I say I don't know, it means I don't know. You can't trick me, Mr. Hyde. You know something in there's no denying it. Now tell me what it is. Hey, keep bawling like that and you'll draw a crowd. Is that what you want? Why so agitated all of a sudden anyway? Not agitated at all. I just needed to be sure you weren't attempting to hide anything from me. Trying to force it out of me, huh? Well, Mr. Hyde, since we appear to have exhausted this line of conversation, I see no more to meet in the cafe after all. I assume you agree? Well, then I'll be going. Frank moves away and heads up the stairs. Gotta give it to the old guy. He sure wants to find that hiding place. Guess he won't give up until he's found Michael McGrath's secret. Do I go to somebody's coming down the stairs? What, again? Mr. Hyde, can you spare a moment? What now? I thought we said all we needed to say to each other. Wanted to apologize for how I acted just now. I didn't intend to make you angry. Just like you said, I'm looking for some kind of evidence on Hugh Speck, and that's why I need to find what Michael McGrath left behind. I was curious to see what we could turn up if we could put our minds together. Do you have any idea where it might be hidden? Yes, I'm sure it's in one of two places. Either the 4th floor, in a place I haven't checked yet, or inside Mrs. Patrice's room. In Mags's room? Yes, there's a very high likelihood that something is hidden there. I was hoping you might have already discovered something on your way on one of your visits there. But since it appears you haven't... Come on, spit it out. What do you want to say? If you got something you want to say, I'd rather you just said it. Very well, I will. Would you be willing to team up with me so we can search Mrs. Patrice's room? Seriously? You're the one I can talk to candidly regarding this. Let's see, I agree. I propose that we go about searching her place. The plan is to ask her to meet me in the cafe where I'll keep her talking for an hour or so. during which time you can take a thorough look around her room. A small matter of a key? Don't you worry about that. I'll see that she leaves the door unlocked. You can leave that side of the operation to me. Does Mags know you've been looking into Condor? I doubt it, Mr. Hyde. As far as I can tell, she suspects nothing. I'm sure you're just as eager to have a closer look around her room as I am, Mr. Hyde. Am I right? You might be. Then it's settled. I'll go and ask her to join me in the cafe. As soon as she's left her room, you come with me to the cafe. You should go inside. What you're looking for is... Yeah, I know. You want me to find something left behind by Michael McGrath? Precisely. Once you're done with your search, come to the cafe. We can discuss what you find after you arrive. Yeah, got it. Loud and clear. Then we'll regroup there. Frank nods and heads towards Mags' room. I guess I'm off. I can hear voices. Yes, I understand. Now let's go to the cafe. Sound of footsteps and the two voices trail off toward the cafe.